This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the Precious Metals Summit in Beaver Creek, Colorado, 2015. I have with me Ilhan from Aldridge Minerals, Inc. It's a publicly traded company, and the symbol is AGM on the TSX Venture. Han, welcome to SNNLive.
Well, Shelley, first of all, thanks for having us here. It's always a great opportunity to convey our story to the larger audience, so thanks for having us here.
It's my pleasure. Speaking of that conveying to a larger audience, please tell us an overview on the company, if you would.
Absolutely. Aldridge Minerals is listed in the Toronto Stock Exchange, venture capital. We have an asset in Turkey, and this asset has been under exploration for over 10 years. And in the last 2 years, there has been significant developments on the engineering side. A feasibility study has been done. An optimization study has been done after that. In fact, we also did a value engineering. But more importantly, Shelley, this project is fully permitted. So it has all of the permits, all of the engineering has been done. And in 2014, September, we have completed a financing of $45 million, which $35 million of that was in senior debt, by $5 million with Orion Resources was equity that came at a 70% premium to market at that time. The task in front of us right now is the land acquisition. And in Turkey, there's a very well-established land acquisition process where the state works together with you to acquire that land. There's a legal base for it. We have gotten the approval of that as well, which gives us 100% certainty that we will access that land. The funding that we had done in 2014 with Orion Resources was for that. And once that is completed, we will be ready for construction. And obviously, one of the other things that we need to do in parallel is the project finance. And I'm happy to announce that on the project finance side, we have gotten term sheets from all of the major banks in Europe. We have been approached by senior debt providers, all of the streaming companies. So we find ourselves in this difficult market conditions where we are not left with one option, but we have several alternatives to evaluate to choose what's best for us, not only in the short term, but also in the long term.
Well, that's answering a lot of questions I might have come up with. But what I really want to know is, why Turkey?
Well, that decision was made before I joined the company. I joined the company in early part of 2014. I'm a Turkish American. I spent 30 years of my life in the U.S. leading the global mining business of a very large engineering and construction company called URS. So obviously that took me all around the world. And when Aldridge approached me to lead this development, one of my main requirements was I said, I have to be in Turkey. Because I have seen so many junior mining companies where the CEO is trying to remotely manage, and that's difficult. You have to be close to the asset.
Let's talk about the management, the geos, what's going on there, and what's your background?
Yeah, my background is civil engineering, and I've been involved in the mining business pretty much all my career, about 30 years of it. And as far as the management team is concerned, you know, in the mining business, we pay a lot of attention to what's under the ground, but the important thing is if the assets above the ground are not there, you won't be able to recover what's under the ground. Building a team is extremely important. And that's what I have been doing pretty much all my life, working for an engineering company where you're selling the brains rather than the assets under the ground.
So, what assets? What's your resource? Give me an idea of size.
Yeah.
I'm sure, you know, after all the studies and the drilling and the feasibility, you'll have more accurate information. But hypothetically, or, you know, implied.
Yeah. This project is a polymetallic deposit, so it has 5 different commodities: gold, silver, copper, lead, and zinc. And I think that's one of the areas that's quite a bit of attraction to investors, because in these uncertain times, when one commodity price goes down, but if you have other ones to offset that, that provides a bit of a de-risking itself. So I think our project enjoys that. If you look at the returns on the project, that's also very attractive. No wonder we're getting all these interested parties for project finance. When the optimization study was completed in May of 2014, based on those commodity prices, the IRR on the project was 32%. If you plug in today's commodity prices, the IRR comes down to 27%, which is still a very lucrative project considering the conditions of the market. So the various commodities that we have of the project with high IRR, I think makes this a project in itself in a different platform compared to its peers.
Turkey is not necessarily known for metals and minerals.
Yes.
So Turkey's in a region with a lot of growth markets, however, with an enormous amount of offtake possibilities. Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah. Turkey is, I would call it at its infancy in the mining area. But consider these numbers. In year 2000, Turkey was producing no gold. Year 2015, Turkey is producing, I think, about 35 tons, #1 in Europe. Turkey has built about 8 mines, I believe, in the last 15 years. So if you look at the track record of mines being built in a country, I think it speaks for itself. So we believe Turkey is the destination to be. Turkey understands that there is a competition for the foreign direct investment, and to be able to attract that FDI in this competitive environment, they have to have incentives. Our tax rates have gone from 20% to 4% because of these investment incentives. The royalty regime is about 1% for gold, 2% for gold, 1% for base metals. So that makes the country quite attractive.
So let's reiterate the stage that the company is at regarding development for our investor audience.
Sure. Like I said, the project's feasibility study has been done, but what's important is after the feasibility study, it's important to de-risk the project from an engineering point of view. So we brought in different parties to look at this from a brand new set of eyes. That was the value engineering that was done after optimization. So that part has been completed. So that brings a higher degree of certainty for CapEx execution, which in the mining business, as you know, is quite important. The permits required to start construction have all been received. In fact, we have our operating permit. The only task in front of us is the land acquisition, and we plan to complete that in 2016 in parallel with some of the structural elements of the project finance. In early part of 2017, we will complete the equity portion of the project finance. 2017 and 2018 will be construction, and towards the end of 2018 or early part of 2019, we will be operating.
Let's give out your website to our audience,
Yes.
if you would.
Well, thanks for listening to us, aldridgeminerals.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ilhan from Aldridge Minerals, Inc. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is AGM on the TSX Venture. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive, and we're coming to you live from the Precious Metals Summit in Beaver Creek, Colorado, 2015. Han, my
Thank you
pleasure.
very much. Thanks for having me here.
Welcome.